So let's look. Oh, it's is it 9/11? It's September 11th. Oh no. If you watch enough of these videos, you know that 9/11 had nothing to do with anything that these fuckers ever told you. A matter of fact, you have to remember that every story that they tell you is in reference to their history, not your history. See these two right here? This is Cain and Abel. Okay? That's Cain and Abel. And I want you to take a particular look at this one thing here, because this kind of sticks out, kind of separate from the rest of it. Isn't that interesting that it's got that circle right there on the shaft? Does that not look like something? Does that not look like something, oh, I don't know, something that they all seem to like? Does that not look like something that, I don't know, like hangs in between a man's legs? And if you notice, just notice closely, see how the red goes outside the rest of the line here? That was done on purpose because that bit right there is creating the head of a dick. And so we have the two brothers, right? And I could show you in comedies and stuff where they make reference, well, okay, The Office. The owner of The Office, the show that I watch, she brings her two dogs in. She said, oh, these are my dogs. They're brother. Make sure they don't hump each other. They don't know that they're brothers. Okay, it's a reference to this. Well, so we can get away from that for a minute. All of this stuff is all their history. You just got dragged into it to achieve their goals. Do you understand? The Lion and the Unicorn. Both of them are fucked because both of them are using you without your knowledge, right? They got the whole world and they're using it to their advantage to get whatever done that they want. Okay? Because they didn't forget. Because they know what they did to get here. Okay? They know. They didn't forget. They never forgot, and they never will forget. People think it's this stuff. This ain't got nothing to do with anything. Most people think that's two buildings that came down. Do you get it? Do you understand? 9/11, never forget what made us stronger. That's them talking, not you. That is not you. That has nothing to do with you, and it never will have anything to do with you. You are not part of the club. You are not going to the party. You are not invited. You will not reap the rewards of all of their deeds. You will always be a foot soldier for these idiots without your consent and without your knowledge. That's what you get. Look at the picture on the bottom. 9/11 Never Forget Project. All this is the cube that they turned at a slightly different angle. It's the same thing. They just changed it. In other words, they're showing you. Here it is here. So, if I was to draw a white line going this way, and then this one coming this way, what you're actually seeing is the other line. They're trying to disguise it, is basically what they've done. So it would come down like this, and then come across like this. And then this line would come down here like this. This line would come over here like this. You get where I'm going? And then this line here basically, without trying to get too precise in drawing, it's just fractal. In other words, it's like twisting a gem, and the light shoots off, and you get different angles of the same thing. And then when you hold it a specific way, it looks slightly different, but it's the same thing. That's all they're doing because they are the 9/11 Project. What happened here? When Cain killed his brother, he said, "Oh, I can't bear this." It was the guilt. I can't bear this, right? Or whatever. And so it said that he went east to the land of Nod. Nod is in your head. Okay? Nod is in your head. The land of Nod is in your head. It's Disneyland. It's where you go to escape from what you did. When there's something that's so hard for you to face, that's your punishment, that you actually have to face what it is that you did wrong. You went to the land of Nod, or you went to Disneyland. Okay? Never forget for them. That's for those guys. However, it made them stronger only through the fact that they were able to deceive the world. Because of what Jesus said right over here. When you're the only one who remembers what happened last night. That's the real 9/11 never forget. When you're the only one who remembers what happened last night. In other words, people have no recollection of who they are or what they are, or where they came from, or what their real name is, or where they were before all of this. Do you get it? Remember who you are. What did Jesus say? Do this in remembrance of me. When Jesus said, do this in remembrance of me, he was saying, do this in remembrance of me, meaning you. In other words, don't forget who you are. He said that way before these assholes, because these assholes were trying to mimic him. Do you understand? The guy that they draw in the pictures is not who the real guy was. This is just a logo for the guy that they want you to fall in line with. That's why they have him holding his hand up like that. But the message is important, not the picture or the man. Remember, when you're the only one who remembers what happened last night, that's like saying, I was born yesterday, or I wasn't born yesterday. The gag that they pulled on humanity, they'll never forget it because they created it. And I don't mean 9/11, I mean what happened way long time ago with all of this. The same story that they perpetrate on thousands of children every day to keep 9/11 going. So that they never forget. Remember, the world runs on Dunkin' Donuts DD 33? Isn't that right? Isn't that what it said? Let's check. Let me just make sure I kept that little note. Hold on for a second. Let me get that. There it is. The world runs on DD. What is DD? Because remember, it says you're supposed to dial it. You're supposed to dial DD. That's 33. 33, and we all know what that is. That's why this is so very important over here. You know, this thing. Right there. They have to keep it going because if this thing ever fails for them, they have to face judgment. That's why Cain, when he killed his brother, or whatever he did to him, he couldn't face it. So he went into La La Land. So if people think that a sex act couldn't bring those towers down, I got news for you. What do you think created this place? What do you think this place is? It's just a recreation. And it'll go on again and again and again because the galaxy runs on 33. It's not your fault. You didn't do this stuff. We're just here. We're kind of captors in it in a way, even though we didn't, as far as I know, have anything really to do with it. But I can see. You know, people think that, most people will take that as this being funny when you're the only one that remembers what happened last night. And people go, "Oh, that's funny because Jesus is saying it." No, it's sad. It's sad that the whole world's been bullshitted into remembering what happened, or even looking. Not even remembering, not even looking. Just letting some dope on a TV tell you, oh, Osama bin Laden attacked us and blah, blah, blah. And never questioning it. You know? I mean, come on. All of you are supposed to be the great inquisitors. Right? Even that asshole Plato, who I didn't like, he got in trouble for saying the unexamined life is not worth living, meaning the unexamined life, not meaning you personally examining yourself, the unexamined life as in, what is this fucking place? That's what it means. What is all of this? That's what you're supposed to be doing. You were never taught to sit on your hands. That's what they want you to do. That's what the church wants you to do. And when it gets to politics, they just want you to pick A or B. This place fell apart a long time ago. And these guys that did all of this, the lineage that did this, and I'll show you in another video, you know, the redheads that are involved in all of that and their lineage, that they only have one goal, is to fucking destroy this place, because they do remember what they did. They know. They're not talking to you. They're not telling you not to forget 9/11. They're talking to each other. Because it's a ritual sexual act that probably led to murder at some point. At least biblically, that tells us what happened. See, we have to keep our this is the problem. We have to keep this to ourselves, because if we try and share this with anybody, unfortunately, nobody will listen anyway. And those that do are so far out of the loop that they can't be bothered to investigate why there might be some legitimacy to it. The people that are involved that did it, they're well aware of it. You know, you can sit down and talk to these guys for decades because they know the whole story. Well, at least they know it way better than me and you do, because we're just learning it as we go along. But they could sit down and they could lay it out really, really well, I'm sure. But the average person on the street can't be bothered with that. You never forget. Don't forget who you are, because that's what this place is designed to do, is to get you to forget who you are, to get stuck up in a fake reality. It's not fake like if you step in front of a bus, it's going to go through you, like in the movie Ghost Dad. You'll die. You're going to die here. This is your prison sentence. For better or for worse, this is where you were born, and this is where you'll die. Sin represents time. It's a sine wave. Sin is sine. When you're born into time, at the end, your payment is death. That's what you get, because you're a third-dimensional object in a third-dimensional world ruled by third-dimensional laws. And one of them laws, and it's a biggie, is death. You know, I cannot tell you for sure what happens when you leave here. I can only see things in a three-dimensional way. I don't think when you die, things are any longer in a third dimension. So I can't tell you that heaven is this or that, or even what heaven really is. Maybe it's something different for everybody. No idea. All I can tell you is somebody here is gone out of their way to make sure that you are a fucking idiot for life. Okay? And only by the grace of God are you able to rise slightly above being a complete moron, because you have the desire not to be a complete retard. Oh, you'll always be retarded. Me too. You'll always be retarded. Because there's so much of the story missing for us that's been held back from us. We're blind. But even blind people can grope around in the dark. They do it often. That's how they get through the day. That's what we're doing. And then you got to remember, we can only go by the information that's being allotted to us. Some of that stuff has to come from a higher level. That's what it's called, intuition. So 9/11 doesn't mean to me what it means to every other one of these fucking idiots walking around. And they are idiots. You know, like I like to tell people, I don't know shit, but you know less than shit. So that doesn't say much for somebody's intelligence, and that's not bragging. It's just I put in thousands of hours looking, and they have an opinion formed on nothing except what they believe, based on the fact that they didn't study or look at anything ever. So I don't know shit, but they know less than shit. So, you know, 9/11, never forget. That you don't you forget who you are, and don't forget the story of what happened. Because it isn't this. This was just some kind of a goof. A celebration for them of sorts. Of how Project 9/11 came about. Right? Never forget what made us stronger. That's the disconnect. That's the whole sodomy thing, the disconnect from the Father. That's what made them stronger. Okay, well, if that's what you want to call it, I guess. You know, here, let me show you a picture about what made them stronger. And this is why I think that when we talk about the sodomy thing, it isn't always a male on male. Sodomy can be male on female. I just want to show you a picture. Okay? Crowley just said male on male is a stronger force, but you can have sodomy male on female. I'm about to show you a picture. Now, as a personality, I like this guy, but I know he's part of the club, so, you know, it doesn't really mean anything. Harvey Weinstein. You know he's not Japanese, right? That's about as Jewish as you can get. What did NBC know about Harvey Weinstein? Look who he's with. He's with the lady in red. It's the Jews and the devil. It's always going to be that way. Right? And she likes it. She likes it. So let's talk about Cain and Abel. Now, we can assume that maybe Cain violated his brother. I can show you where that kind of happened. And even the scholars will agree with that. That's what Noah's son did to him. I don't know. They said it before I did. The lady in red, who represents the devil, is into all, which is Lilith, which is into all the perversion, and ass fucking is a biggie. So you see old Harvey Weinstein here. When they talk about woman abuse in this aspect, it's a sexual abuse which they're into, her and him. So it's just a celebration. It isn't complaining, it's a celebration. That's why she's in the red dress. She represents Lilith. You see? So let's take Cain and Abel. Let me get back to that. So the word Holocaust does mean burning, but it's a sexual burning desire. So what does it say in Genesis? And it said the Lord God, not God, the Lord God said, "Bring your Holocaust unto me." Okay, so let's translate it. Bring your sexual desire unto me. Now, was that a man saying that to another man, or was that a man saying it to this one? Was she saying that to one of the two brothers? Well, now you have a reason to be angry and want to kill your brother, because one was angry because the other one, as the story's written, Cain was a farmer and he brought vegetables. Abel he was a herder, so he brought meat. I'll bet he did. And I can guarantee I know right where he stuck that meat too. And so Cain got angry because his Holocaust, his fire, wasn't as good as Cain's. Right? And so he got jealous and he killed his brother. When we talk about the sodomy stuff, remember it isn't always male on male. It is on the kids as a rule, I think. Because you see that rampant in the church and in politics and that type of stuff. But in this instance, if we look at the story of Cain and Abel, why would the Lord God say, "Bring your Holocaust unto me"? Because this right here is the Lord God. This is their God, and it's her. It's Lilith. It's not the creator. It's the one. It's the bitch that runs this place. That's why you got that stupid asshole singing, "The lady in red is dancing with me." Okay? This is why they're Jew bastards, because they're fatherless by choice. That's what a bastard is, a fatherless child. They turned their back on the creator and chose this. So they're Jew bastards. I mean, accusing them of that isn't a crime. They are, aren't they? You chose the woman. Do you understand? All of these stories are stories of celebration. Oh, this woman, doing all of this stuff to women. They like it. It's part of their gag. But the news makes it to where people think you're beating up on women. No, it's this goddess thing. So Cain and Abel, it says, bring your holocaust unto the Lord. So here's a chick that's telling two brothers, come here and fuck me, and one of you guys is going to be the winner. Well, the one brother wins and the other one gets mad, and so guess what happens? The one who brought the meat, Abel, Cain gets jealous because he brought a vegetable, right? Sounds like a joke story. And he gets bashed on the head. Kills his brother. Then Cain can't handle it and flips out and goes into fucking Never Never Land for killing his brother. But he's, but you understand? But you got her tormenting him for fucking ever. This whole thing it sucks because it's so far removed from reality, from what we call reality, from what the news pumps into your fucking head, and what religion pumps into your head. It's like a whole nother world. Holocaust is a burning sexual desire. It isn't a bunch of Jews in an internment camp. It's sexual deviance. It's all kinds of demonic stuff. When they talk about a burning desire, they always talk about that when a guy's looking at a woman with burning desire. Well, you're not on fire. It's this wanting. It's fucking driving you nuts. It's like torture. Well, that's what she's all about. So bring your holocaust unto the Lord. And you can see here's Harvey Weinstein. What NBC knew about Harvey Weinstein, I already know. You gotta tell me nothing. Him and all of his ilk with their mystery Babylon, which is what this place is. It's what they created. It's what it is. One of them, they both brought their holocaust unto the Lord. And the Lord liked one of the brothers' holocaust much better than the other's holocaust. And so he got mad and killed him. Holocaust does not mean you're locked up in a cage in Germany. It means it's a sexual burning desire. That's why it said, the Lord God said, bring your holocaust unto me. Yet, they never bring that up. They only tell you, the Holocaust was in Germany, and that's where the Jews were in a internment camp. Oh, no. This happened way before that. They just like to use that because that there was something that went on in that. There was something that went on in that place that was demonic, that they're not telling us the truth about. Me personally, I think it was a Holocaust, but of a demonic sexual nature. But the story of Cain and Abel and 9/11, that's what all of that is. She said, I'm going to fuck both of you, and I'm going to, just by nature, I'm going to like one of you better than the other one. And the one brother got jealous and killed his brother. But we can't use that in church because that doesn't sell. We won't get people back in here if we find out that the Lord God ain't the same as God. And that not only is it not the same as God, it ain't even what you would consider a man God. It is a fallen one named Lilith, which they don't even teach the Christians about who that is. Do you see how far removed this shit is? Do you see how whacked this is? Do you see? The whole story's right here. Right there. Harvey Weinstein with the lady in red, the murderer. That's all there is to it. The 9/11 Project. 9/11. Never forget what made us stronger. In honor and remembrance. Isn't it funny? 9/11. In honor and remembrance. And then Jesus is saying over here, when you're the only one who remembers what happened last night. And Jesus said, do this in remembrance of me. He wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about you. Remember you. Remember who you are. Never forget what made us stronger. It made you stronger because they cut us off from the Creator. This broad, this lady Doreen, she's making all these videos about Kabbalah and stuff for the Gentiles. There's a problem with all of her stuff. In just one sentence, the Jews have never, ever, ever gone out of their way to do anything for the Gentiles. It's above them. Even if they don't hate the Gentiles, they just don't. You know, I don't have anything against ducks, but I don't go out to the pond to feed them either. I don't go out of my way to make sure that they've got a nice place to live in the wintertime. It's just, but there's people that'll shoot and kill them. Do you understand? She's doing that to distract. That's the only reason she's making those videos. And the shit she's telling you is mixed with all kinds of, you know, she talks about Torah. People don't even know what that is, especially a Christian. Why would a Christian know what that is? And then she tells you half-truths. Oh, well, they make the boys go through, a ceremony. Tell them they're getting fucked in the ass. Tell them the truth. Oh, no, then we'll fucking figure out that you're the ones that are behind it. Because it goes back to this. It goes right back to this. Right here. Right there. That's interesting that they went right outside the line there to put the head of the dick. Isn't that interesting? That somebody actually, in honor and remembrance, somebody actually went out of their way to make this into a dick. And to do this as a cube. All right, I've gone on long enough. You get it. It's all a big goof. Stupid assholes. Never forget 9/11. Yeah, go fuck yourself.